Well, I'll tell you this, Ryan Curley. I've covered Georgia for 25 plus years, and I have not heard this much about the same thing. I don't think the entire time I've been covering the Dogs, which is that no one stops talking about running the ball effectively, stopping running the ball, and this has been months going on now. And I tell you now, listen, if they don't get this right, there's going to have to be accountability, but they will not stop talking about it.
That's what happens when you only run for 1,742 yards over the course of, 14 games? 13 games that they played last season? 14 games? Not to their standard. It was a huge drop-off in running efficiency. Mike Bobo talked to the media earlier today. He talked about he wants the identity to be the efficiency in the run game. Got to hear from Kirby later on. He brought up the run game and how he wanted to avoid putting Gunner in third and long situations over and over again, and that they were in third and long too often last season, which can lead to all sorts of problems, especially if you're not converting on those third and longs. You're losing out on possessions because you're punting the ball away and you're not scoring. There were a combination of reasons why it didn't work. They just didn't really have the backs. That was one thing. They had injuries in that backfield. The offensive line dealt with injuries. There was a lack of cohesion there. And the pass game, I don't know which one comes first, but they didn't play off of each other well.
I would say running.
And I think it was...
Am I wrong?
Yeah. Georgia couldn't just drop back and pass, and you feel comfortable that if Carson Beck's throwing the ball 50 times that they're going to win that football game. It probably does stem from the run game. This has just been he wants it to be the identity. Mike Bobo talked about it. It's been their identity. They call it RBU, Running Back University. A lot of NFL running backs have gone through that program and has been the backbone. We did another video recently, and Dean was talking about how Mike Bobo helped the 2014 Georgia team score 40 points per game almost. Well, guess why? They had Nick Chubb. They had Sony Michel. They had Todd Gurley. It wasn't because of Hudson Mason. Keith Marshall was RB4 on that team, right? So do they have those backs this season is yet to be seen, but they do have more backs than they did.
That's not yet.
No,
ain't nothing to talk about
those
there.
Backs, it'd take a big jump from Nate Frazier.
But they didn't have the quarterback. I mean, no hate aside. I mean, no hate. I mean, they didn't have the quarterback. The quarterbacks on the roster at the time were Hudson and Bryce. They just didn't have, they didn't have the quality, the level of quarterback. Hey, make sure you're taking advantage of the offer we've got right now. I've been talking about the mailings. They're in the back. I'm not going to look back and all this. This is just from a day. So make sure that you're checking that out. We've got $15 gets you 3 months of Dog Post and our 2025 preview. You see the icon on the screen. You can QR code it if you're watching on TV. As Ryan was explaining to me earlier, I knew there was a way to do this. You can screenshot this if you're watching on mobile, and it'll go to your your photos, and then you just press and hold the QR. It'll go straight to the offer. It's an awesome offer. Take advantage of this while you can, because it's not going to last a lot longer. I'll just tell you that right now.
There's a lot jam-packed into that offer.
There really is. 3 months of the site for a month, and you get the magazine for free. Do it now. And a lot of people have been. But, Ryan, look, man, my question in all of this is they don't have the running backs that they had. Okay, what I mean by that is Todd, who is arguably the best running back at Georgia all time. Don't just put the comments down below. I don't care. Nick, Sony, Keith, Brennan Douglas, who was not bad. That was your 5 deep at running back. You don't think Mike Bobo wants to run the ball? That's all he did in 24. In 14. I mean, Aaron was a great
That's all he did for a 5-year stretch.
Well, that's Georgia football, and that's anybody football that was USC football, that was Alabama football. When you've got the backs and you've got the big guys, you just go do it. And I think the question is, do they have that? The offensive line is bigger than when Brendan Kublano and John Theus and company were there. This is a bigger bunch, but can they get together and get it done? If they don't effectively run the football, they're not going to figure out how to win the league again. I'll say this on the insider front. I do think they feel like the secondary defensively has the capability of being just as good, if not better, than last year, which is, but if they don't run the ball effectively, man, it's like getting out-rebounded in basketball. It's like after a while, you can only make so many threes.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see how this group kind of gets pieced together and what the plan is. I don't think that's very clear. They've got Frazier, and he's been propped up this offseason as a potential star at running back. And the talent is there.
But he's not a
star,
right?
Not yet.
Right,
I think that people see the potential for him to be a star. Bobo talked about it today as well. He's got to stop looking for the home run hit. He's got to
get the dirty yards.
Get the dirty yards. It can't always be you're looking for that 40, 50-yard gain. Where in high school, when, like you said, these running backs in high school were the best players on their teams and on the field most of the time.
Sure.
Can just make things happen at a moment's notice, especially in the SEC, a bigger, more athletic league. That's going to be a really difficult thing to do. And obviously, Nate Frazier got a big taste of it, right? He was the leading carrier for Georgia last year, but they brought in the Illinois transfer Josh McCray. Slow start, right, with him having an illness, but he's still in the mix. We were both at practice last week. Roger Robinson looks healthy.
Yeah, for sure.
He looks jacked as ever. Cash Jones, I think, is going to be really important for this team because he's their most reliable receiving back. And then they'll feel more comfortable this year to put Dwight Phillips out there for a gadget type of play. They did it a couple times last year. I expect to see it a little more this season. There was so much buzz about Bo Walker in the spring.
Yeah.
Maybe he's a guy. Maybe he's a surprise and he gets on the field early. We don't know, but they have more versatility, especially if they're healthy. Part of it was health, than they did last year. They don't have Nick Chubb, but that's not a normal running back. That's an elite NFL running back, right? Yeah. And they've just had those over and over again. Gunnar will open up this run game. You saw it instantly against Texas. Now, it's a defense adjusting to something completely new that they didn't prepare for, and that's kind of the counter argument. But you saw against Texas how instantaneous you put Gunnar Stockton out there, a more mobile quarterback than what you had before. Things can change in the run game. All of a sudden, those options, you have to respect the threat that he might tuck that, go get 6, 7, 8 yards, and potentially put the shoulder down on your defensive back like he liked to do. So there's more there. Part of it is going to be Gunnar and what he does for the run game as well. It's going to feed off of each other.
Here's my question to you as I show off what Scott and Mindy have created, their monster. A lot of folks are buying this riding home shirt. It's a great way to
way more people have bought it than I would have told you have bought it. That's all I'm going to say.
From what I understand, Ryan's representatives have been crafting letters.
It's the NIL era, and my image and likeness is being used. That's all I got to say.
It's a great way to support us. It's to support Red Zone. They're awesome partners with us. Here's my question in all seriousness. And this is not, like hate or doubt or whatever. And if the guys on the team want to use it as that, that's fine. Who is a special running back in this group, number one? To counteract that, who? Go ahead.
No. Well, I think the answer is Frazier if he takes that step forward.
Okay.
If he's just what he was last year, then no, he's not going to be a special running back.
All right. So it's a bit of a trick question. Yeah. It's a leading question. I'm leading the witness. Who was Georgia's special running back in 22? Exactly.
Well, the team was much better.
Exactly though. There's different ways to do this.
Let's not throw shade at Kenny McIntosh.
No. But
they would kill to have a Kenny McIntosh.
Hold on. No, I agree because you had a guy who could just boom and they're gone. And like, I got my old college coach. I got my old college coach is texting me. Speaking of speed, or lack thereof, you don't have to be elite at running back to win the national championship.
Well, look, in 23, I don't think that Dejan Edwards and Kendall Milton were elite. They played better as the year went on.
No, I wouldn't say. I wouldn't say Kenny was elite.
No, and Kenny wasn't elite.
But Kenny, like James Cook, like Swift, like Sony, Kenny could be gone from 40 yards out quick.
Yeah, that was.
That's what I would. I'm sorry, right?
No, yeah.
That's what I would get concerned. That's what concerns me currently about Georgia. I know what Dwight Phillips could do. Went to high school with his dad. Listen, I've seen Dwight Phillips run. It's no joke. But they don't have. There's not like until Dwight Phillips Jr. is getting 10 carries a game. That threat is not there. I thought Etienne would provide that, and he did in the SEC championship game, but generally speaking, he did not explode. So they don't have that one thing. Doesn't mean they won't be really good. I think they got it's the guys up front. That was what makes you run.
Yeah, with the running backs that you mentioned, another aspect was they're not just one type of running back. They could do more than one thing. Kenny McIntosh and James Cook were the two best receiving backs
for sure. They were very
they've
good.
had recently. They're just good receivers. They could probably play that position almost. They don't have someone that can that checks all the boxes.
All of them,
they have
right.
all of the boxes, right? But it's
different
among
people.
a group. It's not. We don't have one or two guys that check off most of the boxes.
Let me just say this one last thing in wrapping it up. Kendall Milton was not an explosive back until he was out in the open. He had, think about that run against Tech. Think about
Miss.
Exactly. I was going to say Ole Miss. So, it's not like, so I'm being harsh right now, and I understand that. Are you being a member of our email list? Make sure that you're on there. We'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.